Hi, and welcome back to Continue. This is week 11 of our study. And so we have one more week left after this, and I'm super excited about the things that we're going to be talking about. Today, our topic is love. Now, there are lots of ways that we use the word love in our society, in our everyday language. And today, I want to speak specifically about Jesus' command to love. And we find that command to love in Matthew chapter 22, verses 37 through 39. And there's two parts to it. Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind. And this is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself." So, as you are considering how you could love God with all your heart and all your soul and all of your mind, that is a big challenge. All really means that you can't leave anything out. And so, when you are thinking about how could I love God with all of me, it's helpful to remember that our love for God is a reflection of his love for us, is a response to his love for us. We can love because he first loved us. And so if you want to grow and continue in your love for God, the best way to do that is to reflect on how God has shown love to you. Today, I also want to look at the second part of this command to love. The second part says that we must love our neighbor. And how exactly are we supposed to love our neighbors? We're supposed to love them in the same way that God has loved us. Now, who could do that, right? Who can do that? Who can love people with this amazing supernatural love that God has for us? It's not something you can do in your own power. It's not something you can just decide to do. The way that we love is we love by faith. Let's take a look in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 7, about what love looks like. And Paul writes this in the love chapter, and you may have heard this read at a wedding or another kind of event. And this is what Paul uses to describe the love that we are to have for one another. In verse 4 of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, it says, "Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails," it says in the beginning of verse 8. And you might notice that in these verses, love isn't an emotion. It's not how I feel about someone. It's not how I react. It's not how I emotionally am engaged with someone. It would be really hard to love people that I don't know if it demanded my emotions to be first and central. The way that love is described here is by actions. It's by things that we do or do not do that show love. And so it's not that you have to have the feeling before you get the actions in place. They don't start with, I feel this way and therefore I act this way. It's exactly the opposite. It is actions of love. And eventually they lead to feelings of love. Love is patient. Love is kind. It doesn't envy. It does not boast, is not proud. Those are ways that we can choose to respond to people. It does not dishonor others. It is not self seeking. It is not easily angered. It does not keep a record of wrongs. Those are actions that we can take. We can choose to do or not do those things. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It protects, it trusts, it hopes, it perseveres. These are things that we can choose whether or not we're feeling feelings of love. And when we do this to the people that are around us, not just those that are easy to love, but those that are more difficult to love, we love by faith. We act in a loving way in order to show love to people that we might not normally love. And that's God's love flowing through us to them. And so today I want to encourage you to consider how you can choose, maybe it's just one person, to love with actions, love with choices, love with decisions that you make about how you will respond to them in love.